Hey everyone, welcome back to Sasha's Scents. If you're a subscriber, thank you so much for clicking on this video. If you're new here, welcome. My name is Sasha. I mostly do fragrance reviews, a little bit of beauty and style. So if you enjoy that type of content, I hope you'll take a minute to subscribe. And of course, hit that notification bell. I bought 10 perfumes from Tjmaxx. I cannot believe that I did that, but I did. And this was in one night. I just had the urge to go and check out what they had. With Mother's Day literally around the corner, I figured they'd probably have a lot more perfumes than normal. So I really enjoyed kind of looking through everything. But like always, you know how Tjmaxx and Marshalls are. They usually have the same old perfumes.
Let's go. Yo. I'm like an addict, do I gotta have it. I ain't even playing, got a really bad habit. If it moves, gotta grab it, fuse like a magnet. Lose, won't have it till I'm doomed in a casket. I ain't playing, got a weird mind. If you work 8 hours, I'ma work 9. If the shit tastes sour, you should taste mine.
But luckily there were a few that stood out. I bought 10, 8 of which I had never smelled before, and 2 that I have smelled before. And so this was a lot of fun to be able to do this and to be able to share these fragrances with you. I thought it would be fun to start with my favorite first, and then we'll just go downhill to my least favorite. Now, I want to say, I do not mean to offend anyone. Everybody's nose is so different, and you know, perfume is very subjective. What I like, you might not like, or what you like, I might not like, and that's okay. So please do not take offense to anything that I may say, especially if you love the fragrance I'm talking about. So having said all that, let's go ahead and get right on into the video. And again, I'm going to start with my favorite, and that one is London Eau de Parfum by Burberry. This came out in 2006. It's considered a floral fragrance. I really like the Burberry fabric on the outside of the bottle. It's really cute. Now the perfumer for this one, I was pleasantly surprised, is Dominique Ropian. He's one of my favorites. And then also Jean-Marc Chelon. And so I think they did a really nice job with this fragrance. This is one of those fragrances that's super easy to reach for. You can wear it for most occasions, year round. It's classy, it's sophisticated, and it smells really, really nice. It opens with this gorgeous honeysuckle. It is really nice. And some rose. And the rose is like this velvety rose petal. It's soft. It's nice. And then there's also a jasmine in here, which you will definitely pick up on. There's some clementine, gives it a little bit of a citrus feel to it. The musk in here gives it some creaminess. And then you got a little bit of woodiness from the sandalwood. And there's also some patchouli. Now, if you don't like patchouli, I think you'll be okay with this one because it's not overly strong. It's kind of mild. And it kind of blends seamlessly with the other notes, so I think you'll be okay with this one. But an all-around really nice fragrance. I'm really, really happy with this one. So that was a score on this one. All right, moving on to the next fragrance, which was also a like for me. That one is Euphoria Eau de Parfum by Calvin Klein. This one came out in 2005. It's considered an amber floral. I've had this one in the past. I just don't know what happened to it. I don't know if I gave it away or sold it. I don't know. So it was just, I don't know. I don't know what happened to it. Anyway, the perfumer for this one is Dominique Ropian. Again, no wonder I like this one. And Carlos Benam and Loc Dong. And they did a really nice job with this fragrance because this is another easy to reach, perfect for most occasions, year long. Love the pomegranate in here when you open it, when you first spray this. It also has some persimmon, which stands out. Now, it does lean slightly masculine in the opening, but then it kind of settles down a little bit and makes the perfect unisex. So actually, although it's targeted to women, it works as a unisex fragrance. A guy could definitely wear this one. There's also lotus flower in here, some champaca. There's liquid amber, which is very smooth. There's some black violet, which gives it some depth, some darkness, some mystery, And then there's some cream, which kind of breaks through a little bit of the sharpness in the opening. It kind of blends it and makes this beautiful, slightly creamy fragrance. Again, that's very, very likable. All right, now we're going to start going downhill just a little bit. And this fragrance is Omnia Eau de Parfum by Bulgari. This came out in 2003. It's considered an amber fragrance. The perfumer is Alberto Morillas. Now, this is a tiny bottle. I didn't realize it was 40 ml, but I was super excited to get it. It does smell absolutely gorgeous, and I'll go over what's wrong with it in a minute. But the ginger in here, when you first spray this, oh, you got this ginger with cardamom. There's some pepper in here. There's some nutmeg, cinnamon. So it's got this spiciness to it. There's some almond, some white chocolate. This is one of those fragrances for fall, winter. You got a big sweater on, your riding boots. You're sitting by the fire. I mean, this is gorgeous. It's stunning. It's sophisticated. There's also some tonka bean and some woody notes in here. And this reminds me a lot of Secret Obsession by Calvin Klein, if you've ever smelled that one. Really nice smelling fragrance. The problem with this fragrance is it had a little bit of a stale smell to it. Something seemed off and I wasn't quite sure what it was until I checked the batch code. It's 7 years old, and fragrances normally are good for like 3 to 5 years if you take very good care of them. Some people will argue with that and say they last longer. This is 7 years. I'm not so comfortable having an older fragrance because I can't really compare it to what it should smell like. You know what I mean? Like, what if the newer one has a different kind of smell and this is like actually smells bad in comparison to that? So I have this weird thing about outdated fragrances that are expired. So I don't know if I should return it or not. What would you guys do? Would you keep it or would you return it? Again, it smells nice, but there is a slight staleness to it. All right, let's move on to the next fragrance. This one is Furiosa Eau de Parfum by Fendi, which came out in 2014. This is also an amber floral. The perfumer for this is Francois Demachi, and he's a great perfumer. Really, really like his style of perfumery. I like the bottle in this. It kind of reminds me kind of a turtle shell. Really nice. Let's talk about the notes. I'm not going to get too excited because this does go downhill as well. But this has this beautiful like pink pepper in the opening. This is a serious perfume. This is like for the woman with attitude. Like, you don't want to make her mad because you will face her wrath. Like, you look at her the wrong way, she's mad. It's kind of like, you got to be careful with this woman. She's strong, she's powerful, but she can be a little bit, you know, I don't know, like a diva. It is pretty. There's also some bergamot in here, which blends beautifully with this pink pepper. There's some wallflower. You'll notice gardenia, some jasmine, as well as amber. And then there's this incense in here, which is beautiful. It gives it a little bit of a smokiness, and some gaiac wood. Now, what I noticed about this fragrance is there's this certain like dryness to it. It's dry. I don't know, something seems a little bit off. It's powdery dry, not in a good way. So I checked the batch code. And again, this one is also 7 years old. So I was like, you know what, Tjmaxx, come on. I was a little bummed because, of course, I like it. I don't want to like it because it is expired. And I don't know how to compare it to the one that maybe smells a lot better. Anyway, what would you do? What would you do? Would you return it? All right, let me know. Let's just keep going. The next one is Aura Eau de Toilette by Mugler. This one came out in 2018. It's a floral, ambery, carnal kind of fragrance. Now, I have the Eau de Parfum, which I absolutely adore. And let me tell you, these are not safe blind buys. These are very different. So you kind of have to like green with some sweetness in there, and because they do kind of stand out a bit. Now, the note in here, there's Fauve Liana in here, which is very different, and it's exclusive to the Mugler Aura fragrances. Yeah, it's very, very different. So I warn you, it is different. They're very complex. The note is like fresh leaves. There's also like a dragée kind of vanilla in here. They've added pear, some hibiscus seeds, and there's like a white vanilla in here, which is milky. It's like honeyed and a bit spicy. Now, I would say there's a big comparison between the two. The Eau de Toilette is more like the quiet sister that's kind of sitting off in the corner, doesn't say much, whereas the Eau de Parfum is that vibrant, outgoing sister that everybody loves talking to kind of thing. The Eau de Toilette smells watered down, smells kind of watery. So if you take the perfume and you add a bunch of water to it, that's what this smells like to me. I don't really like it that much. And there's a lot of people that prefer the Eau de Toilette over the Eau de Parfum. I prefer the more bold, kind of in your face type of fragrance. They both smell kind of like you've been eating sweet tarts in a enchanted forest. So very whimsical, very enchanting types of fragrances. But yeah, I'm not a big fan of the Eau de Toilette. Very watered down to me. So anyway. The next one is Fantasy Eau de Parfum by Britney Spears. This came out in 2005. This is a floral, fruity, gourmand fragrance. The perfumer for this is James Krivda. Now, I don't really know much about him. I don't know what other fragrances he's created. This is a fun fragrance. Jeremy Fragrances talked about this one. It's kind of fun. It's kind of flirty. It's sweet. It almost smells edible in a way, but I'll tell you what the problem is in a minute. Or actually right now, I'll tell you what the problem is. It's the sprayer. If I push on this, it's really hard to push down, and then it kind of, there we go. There we go. A little spouts of perfume, but it smells good. Like I smell that sweetness right away. You get this kiwi. There's red lychee in here, which is that tropical fruit. There's some quince. You're getting that chocolate, like a white chocolate. A cupcake accord in here. There's some musk for creaminess. And then you got the woody notes. Now, I would not consider this to smell like a luxury fragrance. By no means does this smell like luxury. But it doesn't smell cheap, as some people have said. It's like borderline, like in the middle. It's not luxury. It's not cheap smelling. It's just kind of like a fun fragrance that you can wear. Maybe if you're going out with the girls, out dancing. Like I said, it's very fun, very flirty. It's just the sprayer on this one is not working right. And I don't know if it's because the bottle is maybe cheap and the sprayer's cheap. Do you guys have it? Do you have issues with the sprayer? Let me know. All right, moving right along. This one you see all the time at Tjmaxx, at Marshall's, and there was only one bottle left, and usually they've got like 10 or more, and I figured, okay, it must be really popular because they've sold most of them except for one, so I picked up the last one, and that's the Eau de Toilette. It's called Design by Paul Sebastian. This came out in 1985. It's an amber floral. This is a flower bomb. Like if you like florals, you will love this. I like florals to a certain extent if they've got fruit, something gourmand in there, something sweet. If it's just like a full-on floral, I'm not a big fan of that. And this is full-on floral. This is the kind of fragrance you don't want to wear in a car with someone. You'll choke them out. You want to wear this one outside, maybe a brunch, maybe an outdoor wedding, because it is strong. It kind of reminds me of Giorgio Beverly Hills mixed with Lauren from Ralph Lauren, if you're familiar with those fragrances. But it opens with tuberose. There's a lot of tuberose, lots of jasmine, orange blossom, loaded with gardenia. You're going to get some lilac in here. And there's also a hint of civet, as well as some sandalwood and musk. So it has a little bit of creaminess in there. But it's a powerhouse. It is a flower powerhouse. So if you're into those types of fragrances, for $14.99, you cannot go wrong. I researched it. It actually has some good performance to it. So it's definitely worth the money if you're into that kind of fragrance. I am not. So it's definitely not going to be one that I'm going to reach for. I don't know. I may have to give that one away. All right, let's go on to the next fragrance. This one is Happy Heart Eau de Parfum by Clinique, which came out in 2003. It's considered a fresh floral. The perfumer for this one is Olivier Pogue, which I really, really like, and Christophe Ladimiel. And they created a very fun, it's kind of a sparkly, light-hearted fragrance. The original is more citrusy, and this one is more sparkly. It does smell like the color pink, like a sparkling pink. I like it in the opening. It just, something happens in the dry down that just turns me off. But yeah, it smells really good. It's kind of mouth-watering in the opening. You have this water hyacinth. There's some mandarin. It's got a little bit of woodiness to it. It's like the blonde woods. Cucumber. Cucumber definitely stands out in here, as well as sandalwood. What happens with this fragrance, once it starts to dry down, it gets extremely, extremely soapy. And it smells like that expensive soap. And it smells like someone who's been in the shower for like an hour just lathering themselves with this soap. And that's their scent of the day. I don't want to smell like that. If I'm going to wear fragrance, I want it to be a fruity floral or a gourmand or something oriental, or not soapy. But if you like soapy fragrances, this is definitely one you should look into, because it gets soapy. Floral soapy, like expensive soap. Not a cheap soap, an expensive soap. So you like that kind of stuff, definitely check that one out. Not for me. All right, moving right along to the next one, which is Twirl Eau de Parfum by Kate Spade, which came out in 2010. Cute bottle. This is a floral fruity fragrance. The perfumer is Claude Der. This reminds me a lot of the Chanson Tendre Eau de Parfum by Chanel. It's got that clean, cottony, fresh, vibrant opening that I absolutely love. Oh, I love it. Reminds me of like a crisp cotton shirt. And it's beautiful. And you probably are thinking, well, why then would it be a problem? Why is it like on the bottom, almost on the bottom of the list? We'll talk about that in a second. Let's talk about the notes. There's this watermelon in here. There's some African orange flower, some jasmine. And you're also getting some sweet notes. So a very slight sweetness, some creaminess from musk, all around really nice. After 15 minutes, this completely disappears. I mean, disappears. I don't even notice it on my skin. On the clothes, it disappears. Even on this paper strip, it disappears. And I don't know if maybe I'm anosmic to it. So I want to know, does anyone have Twirl? Does it last on you? Please let me know. I'm so curious. Maybe it's just me. Maybe it doesn't deserve to be as low on the totem pole as I have put it, but it just does not last. It turns into air. Love to hear from you guys on that one. Now we're going into the very last one, and this is the least of them, really. This one is Nirvana Rose Eau de Parfum by Elizabeth and James. I have their Amethyst one, which I absolutely adore, and I was hoping, I had high hopes for this one. This let me down. This one was odd to me. This reminds me of one of those really odd stores that you walk into. It's got like the wind chimes hanging. There's buckets of different colored crystals. There's tarot cards. There's like the third eye somewhere. You've got crochet pot holders hanging from the ceiling, throw pillows, odd little like teacups or coffee cups, and like this medicinal smell in there. That's what this reminds me of. Very eclectic, like shop. I don't know. If you like medicinal fragrances and you like rose, you might really actually like this one. I just don't like the combination of this, and I can't stop. It's like New Ager kind of smell, like a New Ager, mystic. I don't know. It's just not me. But anyway, the notes in here, there's May Rose, there's Geranium, and there's Vetiver. Again, you like herbal, medicinal type rose fragrances, then you will actually like this one. I think I paid $19.99. It's like the 1 ounce. So I see it a lot. As a matter of fact, I've seen it at most of the Tjmaxx and Marshalls that I've been to lately. They have a lot of these. So if that's your jam, that's your thing, definitely go check that one out. There you have my haul from Tjmaxx. I hope you like this. I would love to know your best find at a Tjmaxx or Marshalls. Let me know in the comments below. I definitely read my comments. I try to get back to everybody. And remember, guys, one spray can literally change your day. Have a good one, and I'll see you again real soon.